If you're over 75 and you eat oatmeal most mornings, there's one ingredient you're probably not adding to it, and it's the difference between oatmeal that just fills you up and oatmeal that actively works on the walls of your arteries while you eat it. It's not expensive, it's not some exotic supplement, and you can add it to your bowl tomorrow morning. Stick with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to show you exactly what it is, why it works on your arteries specifically, not just your cholesterol number on paper, and how much you actually need for your body to notice the difference. Here's the thing about arteries after 75. They're not clogging the way a pipe clogs with grease. What's actually happening is smaller and slower, a process called endothelial dysfunction. The endothelium is the paper-thin lining inside every one of your blood vessels, and its job is to keep that surface smooth so blood flows through without friction, without turbulence, without particles catching on rough patches. As we age, that lining gets stiffer and less flexible. It stops producing enough nitric oxide, which is the compound that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. When that lining gets rough and inflamed, LDL cholesterol particles floating through your bloodstream start sticking to it. And once they stick, your immune system treats them like an injury and starts building plaque on top of them. That's the real clogging process. It's not one bad breakfast. It's years of a rough, inflamed lining catching particles it used to let pass right through. So the question isn't really what lowers cholesterol, it's what smooths that lining back out and stops particles from sticking in the first place. And this is where your oatmeal comes in, because oatmeal on its own is already doing part of that job. The soluble fiber in oats, called beta-glucan, forms a gel in your digestive tract that binds to bile acids and drags them out of your body, which forces your liver to pull LDL cholesterol out of your blood to make more bile. That's a real, measurable effect, but it only addresses one side of the problem, the cholesterol supply. It does almost nothing for the inflamed, sticky lining itself. That's why the ingredient I want you to add is ground flaxseed. Not whole flaxseed, ground. And here's exactly why it matters for someone your age specifically. Flaxseed has 3 separate compounds working on your arteries at the same time, and each one hits a different part of the problem. The first is alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 fat. Your body converts a portion of it into the same anti-inflammatory compounds found in fish oil, and those compounds directly calm the anti-inflammatory signaling inside the endothelial lining, the same lining we just talked about getting rough and sticky with age. Less inflammation there means fewer places for LDL particles to catch and lodge. The second compound is called lignans, and this one's specific to flaxseed. You won't find meaningful amounts of it in most other foods on your plate. Lignans act as antioxidants inside the artery wall itself, and several studies on adults with existing plaque have found that flaxseed intake was associated with measurably reduced arterial stiffness over time, along with modest reductions in blood pressure. Stiffness matters because a stiff artery can't relax and widen the way a healthy one does, which means your heart has to work harder with every single beat, and that extra pressure is exactly what damages the lining further. So lignans are working on flexibility, not just cholesterol. The third piece is the soluble fiber in flaxseed itself, which works alongside the beta-glucan already in your oats. 2 different soluble fibers binding bile acids through 2 different mechanisms is genuinely more effective than either one alone. This is why flax and oats paired together shows up so often in cardiovascular nutrition research as a combination, not just flax by itself. Now, let's talk about the overnight part, because I want to be straight with you. No single food reverses years of arterial change while you sleep. What ground flaxseed does do, starting from your very first serving, is begin reducing the inflammatory activity in your bloodstream almost immediately. And with consistent daily use, research shows measurable improvements in arterial flexibility within about 12 weeks. That's not overnight, but it's also not years. It's fast enough that most people notice their blood pressure readings shift before the 3-month mark. Consider tomorrow morning the actual start of that clock. Here's exactly how to do it. You want 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed stirred directly into your cooked oatmeal after it's off the heat, not boiled with it. Heat and prolonged cooking degrade some of those omega-3 compounds, so stir it in at the end right before you eat.
If you're buying whole flax seeds and grinding them yourself with a small coffee grinder, that's actually the better option because ground flax seeds starts losing its beneficial fats within days of grinding once it's exposed to air. If you buy it pre-ground, keep the bag sealed in your refrigerator, not your pantry, and try to use it within a month or two. 1 tablespoon is roughly the amount used in most of the research showing benefits for blood pressure and arterial stiffness, so if you're just starting out, begin there. Once your digestive system adjusts, and it will need a few days because flaxseed is fiber-dense and can cause some initial bloating if you jump straight to 2 tablespoons, you can move up to 2 tablespoons daily, which is the amount used in the studies showing the strongest reductions in arterial stiffness over 12 weeks. There's one more step that makes a real difference, and it's about water. Ground flaxseed absorbs liquid as it moves through your digestive tract, which is part of how it binds bile acids. But if you're not drinking enough water alongside it, that fiber can actually cause constipation instead of helping you, especially for those of us over 75 whose digestion has naturally slowed down. So make sure you're having a full glass of water with your oatmeal, not just your usual small cup of coffee. That one adjustment prevents almost all the digestive complaints people run into when they first add flax to their routine. I also want to mention what not to do, because I know some of you are already thinking about doubling up for faster results. Don't exceed about 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. Flaxseed does have a mild blood thinning effect through its omega-3 content, which is part of why it helps circulation. But if you're already on blood thinners like warfarin, or you take daily aspirin, talk to your doctor before adding flaxseed regularly. It's not dangerous for most people at normal amounts, but your doctor knows your specific medication list, and this is exactly the kind of small addition worth a quick conversation at your next appointment. There's one more thing that boosts the effect without adding a single extra ingredient: cinnamon. If you're already sprinkling cinnamon on your oatmeal, keep doing it because cinnamon has its own independent effect on blood sugar stability, and stable blood sugar means less of the glycation damage that makes artery walls stiff and brittle over time. Flaxseed and cinnamon aren't competing for the same job. Flax works on the lining and the cholesterol, cinnamon works on the blood sugar spikes that damage that same lining from a different angle. Together in the same bowl, they're covering more ground than either one alone. So, here's your plan for tomorrow morning. Cook your oatmeal the way you normally do, take it off the heat, stir in 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, add your cinnamon if you use it, and drink a full glass of water alongside your bowl. Do that every morning for the next 12 weeks and give your body the consistency it actually needs to work with those compounds. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily habit that compounds the same way the damage did, just in reverse. You've just learned something that most people don't figure out until a doctor mentions it in passing during a cardiology visit. And now you get to start today instead of waiting for that appointment.
Remember, your arteries aren't just aging on their own timeline. They're responding to what you feed them every single morning, 1 bowl at a time. Give them the right ingredients, and this body of yours will keep giving you good years back. If this helped you feel a little more in control of your own heart health, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button, because I put out research-backed videos just like this one every single week, and I don't want you to miss the next one. Drop a comment and tell me your age and whether you're starting with 1 tablespoon or going straight to 2. I read every one. Now go make tomorrow's bowl count, and I'll see you in the next video.